Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they'd just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your gospel. Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. Oh, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know.
SA3 is what this year's project has been called, and that stands for South Africa. It also stands for Student Architects and for the social advocacy that this project is about. So this is one of a number of phases of similar projects in South Africa where we bring students out to get involved in live work. And so this is what this year's project has been called.
I think I was so interested about coming to South Africa, really to experience the cultural differences, and because of the whole, because it's got a real focus on education, I feel like back at home I had such a great education growing up, and that everyone does deserve that, and that's really what this project is about. And I think we're going to be able to help that by being able to populate the school a bit better and give them a good environment to learn in.
It's giving them a different type of space to use and to learn with. This is sort of, it's a crash, so it's really early education, and that is sort of the most formative point in the child's life. They sponge up so much, and so the kind of space they have to learn in is really important. So it just gives them sort of the kind of space a kid deserves right from the start.
It offers lots of different things that are, I think, very, very appealing. On the one hand, this is students getting a good cross-cultural experience, and I think everyone is enriched by encountering that. They also get to make something, and it's really, really good for architects to know how big a piece of timber is and so on. And we also leave behind something that is useful for a marginal community that all resources are very scarce. So if we can build something, this lovely creche facility for this school here, it's something very, very valuable that we can leave behind. And then finally, South Africa is a really beautiful country, so it's just great to be here.
Oh, she can't wait for what I can give. She knows what I am, but she won't believe me. Is it all okay? Will I come off the like this? I can't believe it. It's always like this, 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 like this.
I think when you're designing, you've got to understand how you put together a building, so it's quite a unique opportunity at this point in your career to be able to come out and build something, and I think for all of us it's helped us understand how bits go together, so it helps us design at the end of the day, so it's really important.
Yeah, like one of the things that all of our tutors and architects that we know that come to school and stuff say is like whenever you're on site you notice so many things that you've done wrong and you get changed. So I guess for us we're going to notice those little things that we can kind of take forward into our career hopefully. So it's really exciting.
I think I've learned a lot just by being here for, 4 days. I think it's crazy to think that just a few weeks ago all of this was just a few drawings on paper, and then now it's like actually being built, and you just learn so much on the job.
And I think we are different from other architectural students because we actually know how to construct it. So we are really focused on the details, which will make us really special to other architectural students.
Yeah, you know, when you're designing, you think about how you're going to build it now instead of just designing it how you want.
This project will really benefit my career in architecture through having actually done building experience, first of all, and I think it also shows a lot of get up and go almost, being able to fundraise for this sort of project and work as a group, work as a team, which is how it is in practice. So I really think it's something that looks good on your CV, but it's also good, you know, practical work that you can take forward into the field.
But you're not in the slightest. It's happening now, and it's always been like this, like this, like this.
I think it makes you really realistic, and it gives you a really good sense of scale as well, because to see something go from a drawing to an actual building is so amazing, and it's completely different.
For students to be able to come and get hands-on experience this early in their training is absolutely fantastic, and it just really means that all of the kind of abstract detailing and so on that they've been doing back in university suddenly makes enormous sense.
In terms of architecture, I think actually building something makes you think about the things you design. There's so many things that I've put in designs that, having actually put up a concrete wall myself, I'll probably never design another 5 metre high one, because the 2 metre high one takes days to put up.
Locally resourcing materials is good practice wherever you are in the world. One of the advantages we have in this part of South Africa is that there are lots of self-build stores. If you travel through the villages, it's fairly obvious that everyone makes their own house.
We try really hard to procure things locally. We don't import anything in from the UK, for example, or other parts of the world.
In studio, when we design, we tend to be very precise. We draw with very fine pens or with CAD packages that assume that everything is perpendicular and perfectly straight. The reality of building is it's not very accurate most of the time.
I think the most difficult thing is when you put a lot of work into something, so you've been working on it for 2 or 3 hours, and then you realise somewhere along the line something's gone wrong, and you have to undo 2 or 3 hours worth of work.
I think in the initial few days they find it really difficult because most of them probably haven't even picked up a drill or a hammer before in their lives. They adapt very quickly though, and by the end of the 2 weeks of each phase, well, as you can see today, this is the last day of phase 2. Everyone's working really hard and very effectively, so they learn quickly. It's a steep learning curve. It's very tough. I mean, it's hot, dirty work, but I think I benefit from it. The students benefit hugely from it.
The other thing that we've been very conscious of, and again this is good learning for them, is understanding that different building technologies happen at different paces. So for example, timber framing, which is what we've done in all of these buildings as the basic construction method, is a very quick way of getting the frame up, a roof on. Then this year we've explored other new technologies like sandbag walls and straw bale walls, which then don't need to be load bearing because the timber frame has done it, and that's quite a quick way to infill and gives the students an opportunity to work on different construction methods simultaneously.
So there are lots of stores selling materials for that type of construction. We draw on those resources as a kind of palette of materials we can use. The selection of materials in this particular project as well has also been driven by the need to make the construction quick.
We spent 10 days here now altogether. It's the last one.
I'm just going to try and get through the day without crying.
I'm immensely proud of what the students have achieved actually, and I think this project this year is the best one we've ever done.
I feel like everyone has really understood each other, you know, as a team we've understood each other a lot more than we did at the beginning. I've done it before and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I think it's a really, really great thing to be involved in.
I think it's always been like kind of an emotional thing, especially like when you see how people live here and how much they need it and how grateful they are. It really makes you feel emotional.
Every time I've been interviewed about this, I've always quoted Confucius. Confucius once said that if you tell me, I will forget. If you show me, I will remember. If you let me do it, I will understand. And I think that is absolutely what these projects are about. We let the students do it, and as a result, they understand how buildings are put together much better.